Hi. Hi, Anna.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. Ready to talk?
That's fine. That's great. How is the weather? How is spring in Belarus?
um, it's not a real spring to tell the truth. It's snowy, but anyway, it's spring and it makes me happy.
Oh, sounds good. That's great.
Hopefully, real spring will come soon.
Yeah, hope so. All right. So today we're going to speak with you about a very interesting topic and I guess painful one since every business analyst deals with the customers and sometimes they face some troubles, some conflicts or something like that. And I'm sure that you are going to share your knowledge, your expertise, your experience on how to manage this and how to interact with some clients when there are some challenges, right? Okay.
I'll try my
uh,
best. I'll try my best. I'll tell a few examples of my real projects, my real life situations, and I hope that it can be useful for some of you.
Cool. Real life examples are always welcome on our webinars. So, yeah, we are starting just in a couple of seconds. Just a quick reminder. So, if you like our webinar, if you like the speech, you can also say thank you and put some likes on the page with the webinar, and I will send the links shortly. And I think we can get started. So, Anya, the floor is yours.
Yay! I'm on the stage. So, little introduction. I'm Anya. I'm working as a business analyst for almost 6 years. Of course, I had different projects, different customers, and some of them were really very interesting. Some of them were not that. But anyway, I'll share my knowledge, I'll share my expertise with you. I'm absolutely sure that every one of you have own tips and tricks, own experience, but probably I'll help you a little bit with structuring all this. So let's move on. Here is the agenda. I would like to tell you about real life customer examples. Then we will talk about top problems and the solutions which help me and my team. Then we'll move to takeaways, little tips and tricks, and later we'll have few minutes for a Q&A session. Okay, let's get started. Here is my first example. It was my first production project. I was the only one BA. I was the key BA. It was a big stress from the very beginning. And when I came to the meeting with the customer, to the first meeting with the customer was absolutely amazing. And he was really great. He was really absolutely amazing. But it took some time to make all the things work properly for our team and for the customer. So let's discuss the problems which we've faced. Here are top three. First problem was customers' emotional resistance to changes. Customer was really afraid of some big features, of some big changes, and it took relatively big time to explain why these changes need to be done and why is it valuable and important. The second problem was scope creep. Um, Scope creep is a big problem, I think, on every project. And here also, the customer was adding some small updates, some small requests here and there, and the backlog was growing very fast. And we had to do something with this. because we had very strict timelines. And the other problem is unrealistic expectations about the timelines we had. It was really difficult to explain why some task or some feature will take this amount of time, but not less. The customer was not really technical, and it took a long time to explain why the things are going in this way. Here are the solutions which we've been using. So, how we've been dealing with emotional resistance. Me as a BA was demonstrating real acknowledged emotions. So we had long talks with the customer. I've been playing a role as a psychologist, and we've been talking, and I've been explaining that I understand that he's afraid, and I understand that he's used for old things and how everything is working, but what we are suggesting is the better solution, is the best solution. And finally, we were coming to a final point. Then I've been providing data-driven evidences, and we had a really great phased implementation plan. So I think that the best solution is to be transparent. And you'll hear the word transparent for many times today. So what's about scope creep? From the very beginning, when we understood that scope creep comes to us, we've established a formal change control process. So the customer knew that if he wants to bring something new, some new requirements, some new features, all these features will pass the change control process, the formal process. Of course, all the requests were documented and all the requests were brought to the backlog. So the customer knew that his requests are important, that that we hear everything and we see everything what he wants, and we will work with this, but maybe not right now. And project scope treatment was signed from the very beginning. So we had a formal document, and we were all the time coming back to it just to stop customer of bringing some new ideas. So what's about unrealistic expectations? The process was breakdown, and we were clearly explaining which phases have to be done, which phases are more or less important, which of them will bring more or less value. And in this way, we've been communicating. Also, visual timelines were used. It was really important to illustrate some dependencies between the processes and incremental milestones. So it's everything, as you see, everything is about transparency again. Here are the first situation and the first customer. Let's move on. The second example. I came there. I was a key BA, so the only one BA at the project. And at that point, I was absolutely sure that I'm ready for everything. But no. So, top 3 problems here: unclear requirements, conflicting priorities among stakeholders. There were few stakeholders at the project, and communication gaps. So, customer, it was really difficult for customer to explain clearly what he wanted because he didn't have a clear understanding. And my role was to help customer to understand what he needs, because he was coming to the first meetings with some phrases like, just make everything work better. I need everything work better. All what you want, just make it better. So we were coming to the solution, how to make everything better and what it means for him. Also, when we've been working on this project, there were few stakeholders and everyone had his own point of view, and it was relatively difficult to explain and to prioritize some tasks. And of course, communication gaps, they can appear because of jargon, because of different time zones, even languages, whatever. So let's move on to the solutions. Of course, all of us, all the team, have been using active listening, and I was asking thousands of open-ended questions. Not just the question where you can get the answer yes or no, but the questions where we needed to understand the meaning of the words customer was using. I've been creating some visual aids like wireframes or flowcharts just to show where are we going. And all the requirements were documented in a shared and structured format. So customer had a possibility to go to backlog, to check everything. All the user stories were written in the same format. So the customer had the possibility to check everything. Everything was clear, understandable. So the customer didn't have any problems. And in case if he got some questions, he could immediately ask them. What's about the priorities among stakeholders? We had many workshops, prioritization workshops, because each stakeholder wants his feature to be taken in work first. So we were talking. It was very important to talk, to make people understand that every feature is important, but some of them are less valuable. And on these workshops, we were coming to the final solution. So, of course, we've been using some prioritization techniques like Moscow, what should be done, what we are not sure that we need to take in work. So, and of course, the trade-offs were highlighted strongly. Because here I'm coming to transparency again, everyone needs to be on the same page. What's about the communication gaps? We've been trying our best to avoid jargon, to explain all the concepts in a simple way. I would tell like we would explain this to our grandmother. Everything needs to be absolutely clear for everyone, even if a person is absolutely not technical. So it's really very important. So some analogs were used to make person understand in a more clear way what do we need and what do we want. And of course, summaries were used to ensure that we've got everything right and everything. Oh, hello. And everything everything was clear and everything was okay. So we've been asking all the time, did we get right? Are we understood it in this way? So we could have fast feedback. So that's about the problems and solutions, and let's move on. This is the key takeaway slide, and here are three main takeaways which I would point. So effective communication with difficult customers hangs on empathy, structure, and my favorite, transparency. By addressing root causes and using tools like visual aids or prioritization frameworks and change control processes to make the process more formal, BAs can turn friction into a really great collaboration and ensure project success. So empathy builds trust and disarms conflicts by addressing emotional and physical barriers. Structure creates predictability, reducing chaos and anchoring discussions in shared goals. And transparency fosters accountability and partnership, ensuring customers feel heard and informed at every stage. And I think that, once again, transparency is one of the most important parts. Here are my tips and tricks. Empathy stands for active listening, acknowledge emotions, root cause analysis, adapt communication style, and proactive support. We've discussed all this somehow on the previous slides. Structure stands for requirement documentation, visual alignment tools, prioritization frameworks, change control processes, and role clarity. And my favorite, transparency, stands for clear constraints communication, progress visibility, risk management, timeline realism, and feedback loops. Seems that that's it. That's all what I wanted to tell you for today. Hope it was not so long and not that formal. Thank you. In case if you have some questions, you can ask them now, or you can reach me directly and I'll try to help you. That's it
Thank
from me.
you. Thank you, Anya. It was wonderful. It was really warm and, friendly and absolutely amazing. I really love your presentation and the way you have shared your
I'm not sure. Have you seen a
experience.
cat jumping on my laptop?
No, everything was fine, I guess.
Okay, it was
Yeah.
a part of presentation with
And I
cat.
love your cats in the presentation. Yeah, so good. Um, Well, so far I don't see any questions. I guess everything was really cool and clear. But anyways, if someone wants to ask some questions, you can always reach Anna offline.
Yes,
Here are the contacts. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you for sharing your expertise, and see you. Have a
you're
good day.
welcome. Have a nice day, all. Bye.